Hello, everyone. I hope you guys are doing absolutely wonderful and well. I want to bring you some information, so I am going to share this with my group. If you do not know, or if this is your first time encountering my information, feel free to follow me at my YouTube channel, and you can simply put in the search Sherry, Sherry, Beckley, Beckley, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel for some of this content or prior content that I have that will help you with your credit journey. Also, when I'm done with this live, in the link, I will have my information. We do have a credit community. If you're a person who have good credit, want to know how to maintain it, or trying to develop your credit, feel free to join our community. It's a bunch of people getting together. How are you, Tori? Thank you for joining me. Getting together, getting knowledge, and we are sharing information to help people improve their credit. We had a credit kickoff at the beginning of the year, and a lot of people in that group, there were various of people that started at a 650 credit score. Some reached 800, some 740, and a lot of them have testimonials. Within 4 months, they were able to achieve their goal. So it does not take all day. There were some people that started at 530 and now they're at 650, 680. So you can accomplish things in your credit with knowledge very quickly. But what I'm going to do is bring you the information. I want to talk to you on how to deal with lawsuits from third-party collectors. Okay, so it's very important on knowing if you are being sued by a third-party collection company, some ways that you can stop a lawsuit or to prevent a lawsuit. I am not an attorney, so this does not constitute legal advice. I am going to tell you about my experience and experience of others that did the things that I did and how it worked for them. So, number one, the best way to stop a lawsuit from a collection company is not to have one at all. So you need to send a debt validation letter to a third-party collector. A third-party collector is a collection company that purchased the debt, usually after 180 days when the original creditor charged it off, and they will sell that debt. So sending out a debt validation company will force that third-party collector to prove they have a legal right to collect on that debt. Always remember, because a debt is owed does not give any right to any person to collect on that debt. We all owe debts. You owe a light bill right now in your home. I cannot knock on your door, show you your light bill, and demand for you to pay me. They have to show a legal right to collect. So as I always tell you guys, number one, you need to ask for the original signed contract between yourself and the original creditor, showing that you gave legal right for the original creditor to sell that debt. So you want to start there. But in the debt validation letters, you can ask for other proofs, the whole account history on the life of the account when you had it with the original creditor. This makes it very hard for a third party to get that information because they bought the debt. Also, are they legal to collect not only in your state, but are they a legal company at all in order to set up? Some of these companies have to have bonds. So you want to make sure that they're following the rules, and you want to make sure that you owe the debt at all. There have been, it's a phenomenon going around called phantom debt. These people will get your information, call you up, and if you don't know, when you're on the phone and your call is being recorded, as soon as you agree to pay the debt to that company, you are binding a verbal agreement. This is why people go in front of a judge and get married, in front of a pastor and get married, but it takes a whole legal process called divorce because it is a binding verbal contract. So, number one, send a debt validation letter. Now, the next step, what you need to do is look at the type of debt it is. Then look at your state statute of limitations. Many times what happens is these companies are borderline illegal, and it could be a possibility where they can no longer collect on that debt because your state have given a time frame which that debt has been expired to pursue. So if you don't know the statute of limitations for that type of debt, credit card, whether it be a car that got repossessed and a third party purchased that debt, in different states, different types of debt have a time frame in order for that company to sue. Many times, if a person is not aware, they'll get on the phone and talk to these companies and bind a verbal agreement, and you reactivate it, the statute of limitations on that debt, and actually gave them a doorway now that they're able to sue you. Okay, so you want to know the statute of limitations on your collections, okay? And be careful because these kind of companies are very slippery. They buy these debts for pennies on the dollar. A $2,000 debt, they might have only bought for $25 and then try to pursue you for the whole $2,000. So you want not to be caught up in these traps. Number 3. Consult an attorney. It's very important to consult an attorney. And the reason why an attorney in your state is very important because your state have different rules. And you need to talk to an attorney to make sure that if you detect that this company is getting ready to sue you, that you talk to that attorney and know your rights. If you need low cost help from an attorney, contact me. If you feel that a lawsuit is about to take place against you, let me give you some signs. Number 1, have that debt been sold to a company in your state? That is an indication. If you see that that collection was with the company, let's say I live in New Jersey, out in Minnesota, I had a collection, and now all of a sudden I see a collection company bought that debt or are sending me mailings in my state, you want to be careful because what happened once a collection company that's in another state realize they cannot collect on that debt, that you're not going to pay them, they usually will sell that debt to another company in your state who would then start to sue you. Another indication, if you're being contacted by an attorney, if you are receiving letters from attorneys, especially from an attorney in your state, that is a top indicator you're about to be sued. Because what happens is attorneys, because this industry is so lucrative, they will buy debt themselves, law offices, and they will pursue that debt. Understand, you guys, it is a difference between just a regular collection that's being reported on your credit report, because I'll have a lot of people call me, oh, what can I do? You know, I just got served with a lawsuit. How can you help me with my credit? Baby, your credit is your last thing you need to worry about. They're about to run down on you. When they serve you with that lawsuit, that is a legal judgment. You need an attorney. You are being sued. Your credit is the last thing you need to be worried about. Those people are getting ready to garnish your check from your job, try to put a lien on your house, try to snatch the money out your bank account. Whatever they can do, they are actively looking to use your local authorities to collect that debt forcefully from you. Okay, so you see an attorney. If an attorney is on that debt, they're getting ready to sue you. Okay, so you need to, number one, reach out to me. I can help you and point you to an attorney in your state for pennies on the dollar. So a lot of times, by having an attorney before the lawsuit is initiated to reach out to that company for you, it may slow that company down if they believe you have legal advice. So you want to make sure, if that is happening and an attorney is contacting you, you know that a suit is not far behind. Because what happens is the court or the attorney will use the local court laws that they know well against you to collect on that debt. And many people get scared. They won't answer the complaint. They won't call the court. They don't have any information, and that attorney, having so much knowledge, have actually the edge on you. So many times these attorneys will say they owe the debt, but they'll pretend that they're representing a Capital One or a Midland Funding when they actually owe the debt. And if you don't know much about your legal system on how to negotiate or navigate to find out, you sending out interrogatory questions once that suit, there's certain court rules you have to follow for each state to get evidence. So that debt validation, trying to send that at that time, may not be an option. You have to answer the complaint or they will win by default. So you need to talk to an attorney that is in your state. So it gets very complicated at that point. And the last thing, a lot of people, I'm like, you know, that's a little above my pay grade, people. I'm not an attorney. So they want me to step in, and what am I supposed to do at this point? You have to seek an attorney. Now, some of the things I did in the past, personally, when I have that, if the attorney, what I did personally to find out, I always, if someone is suing me, depending on how they are suing me, the amount that they're suing me, I'm going to countersue. So you have to understand what your state laws and how your state court work. I understand my court. I understand in my state, there is always special civil, which is small claims, and civil court. Anything in the state of New Jersey under $15,000 is special civil. Service or you being served have to be done a certain way. And where you're served have to be done a certain way, and who they serve it to in a certain age bracket to a teenager. Some of this stuff, depending on the age of who they served at the address, is not a good service. So you need to know that. Also, if it's beyond a certain amount, if it's a civil, they have to have a process servicer. In my state, anything beyond $15,000 to physically serve you. So the problem is a lot of people are not abreast with the laws in their state, so they don't know the difference. That's why you talking to an attorney is very important. One of the ways I have fought this, how was the service done? Was it done correctly? Did they serve me at my home or properly in the right place? because if they did not, if they served me at an old address or sent it to an old address, I never got notice. So there's many times in my state, even if they got a judgment, if you can prove that I was never served, it overturns that judgment. So one of the ways you can fight it, like I did, when I got served, I countersued not only the company, but I countersued people that were in authority in that company and named names. So that gave me more leverage. For example, if I owed a $500 debt, I'm suing them for probably about $800. One thing I understand, in my state, if you're an LLC, it has to be represented by an attorney. That's number one. And then all the other people that are named in that suit have to show up to court. Maybe not now in COVID, but prior to, they had to come to court to answer the complaint, which cost the company more money. Then when I countersue them for defamation of character, I always use that you're lying on me if you can't prove your case. They will be personally liable, the people that I named, if they could not prove that case out. So all the battles I fought in that bracket, they will fold like a card house. It wasn't worth for them to fight, because at the end of the day, they only paid like $25, $50 for this lawsuit. Many of them paid me to just drop it and go away. So you have to learn how to fight sometime in life. I use this tactic to remove collections the same way. That's always been a strategy for me. Another way, I have an attorney that works for me. With what I am telling you guys about, I will simply, if they send me something in the mail, have the attorney to write them in my place before a lawsuit is initiated. Many times, if an attorney gets a letter from another attorney, they are a little more cautious about initiating a lawsuit. They know you have someone working for you. So those are ways I have used to stave off a lawsuit from third-party collectors. So also, you need to keep in mind, if it is a lawsuit in the name of the actual original creditor, I have employed the same tactic, especially if it's a credit card debt. They have to prove out the interest. So I'm always countersuing because it's about leverage. That's it. Leverage. If someone is robbing you and they have a gun and throw that gun in your face and you don't have a gun, you're going to run your pockets. But it's a whole different conversation where I draw on them. Then guess what? This conversation has taken a turn for the better. That guy is going to back out gracefully, because guess what? You might kill me, but you might end up wounded yourself. So sometimes by having and building leverage, people don't want to fight. Understand, a lot of these companies are predatory. So knowledge is key. And this is the problem. A lot of people do not fight. They duck their head in the sand like an ostrich and hide. And they're scared. And oh ho ho. When if they learn how to make themselves not easy prey, the predator is going to move on. They're going to move on after the gazelle that runs away. They don't want to tackle someone who's going to fight. You know, the lion do the same thing. I talk about this principle all the time. It's the lion and the elephant. The lion might be the predator, the king of the jungle, but wherever you see the lion, you see that elephant in the background going to the watering hole with their babies. You know why? Everybody else scattering. They not going to mess with that elephant, because they know if they go over there and mess with that elephant, they might not win that. They might, even if they win, they might be wounded and they ain't going to be able to fight no more. So they just, you know what they say? You got that. I'm the king of the jungle, but I ain't going to tangle with you. You have to learn how to do the peacock effects. Make yourself look bigger than what you are. At least give the illusion that you want to fight. But many people are so scared. Oh, I know I owe it. Do you? Do you? Did they give you any proof that you owe it? How do you owe it? They said they bought the debt. Where's the receipt? Where's the proof that they bought the debt? I can tell you I bought Buckingham Palace right now. I could tell you I bought the Brooklyn Bridge. I could tell you I bought Obama's house. Don't make it true. They have to prove via the receipts. So these are ways that you can fight. Because if they don't have the proof, I am suing you and letting you know how you lied on me. And I'm going to get paid. So these are the steps that you need to employ to stop a third-party collector from suing you. If you employ these steps, most people, just about all people, we had some people in the group right now, gentleman got sued and he actually didn't show up. It was a default being garnished for about $8,000. Took the information I just gave him, gave out to you guys, went and fought it and got all his money back. He got everything back that the enemy stole. Because if the thief do be found, you'll get tenfold. And he might have got a little extra. But some of y'all just too scared. So you got to learn how to have a little fight in you. You don't have to start big. Start with sending out the debt validation letters. Get a little heart. Because you ain't going to never get good credit without fighting. If you know your credit is already messed up, you're going to have to take some steps. And you're going to have some courage. And you're going to have to get some information. So you do not regress back to the same state you were. Because you did not have the information or the knowledge. So I hope this is helpful. Because these collection companies are in these streets hitting people with lawsuits. So if that is you, I will even leave my number if you need to contact me. And if you have questions or you need legal services, feel free. If a lawsuit and some of those points I brought up is coming your way. So I hope this is helpful for everyone. Don't hesitate to inbox me if you need more information on how to fight lawsuits if you're being sued. All right. Be blessed, everyone.